When Nikon release something, which isn't very often this year actually, is it? They haven't released much this year.
No.
I get excited.
You're easily excited.
I love gear and technology and photography and Nikon as well. I'm always intrigued. What's the new latest thing?
I try and close my eyes.
So I'll go onto YouTube, and all the big YouTubers have launched at the same time, of course, and they have their usual plethora of angles of view. They even sent 2 of them to Japan to use it.
You haven't told them what you're talking about yet.
I haven't told you what I'm talking about. The Z50 II. It's not Mark II, it's Z50 II.
No, not 52 in numbers.
Not 50 and then 2.
Well, it is Mark II then.
Well, yeah, they're saying on their, they get angry when people say it's a
Mark II?
Yeah.
Well, call it 52 then.
Yeah.
5-2 digits.
So that's what we're talking about. Yeah, so they sent some of them to Japan.
Right.
And then below on the comments below all these videos, everyone says what's missing from it that they really wanted.
Right.
The real review is in the comments below the actual video.
Right, yeah.
But obviously, if they sent us to Japan, I would be very happy.
Yeah, and we'd say it was brilliant.
It's fantastic. Whatever they were reviewing is fantastic.
Yeah. But that's not going to happen. So.
Well, it might though. We're growing.
Well, if we carry on like this.
No. Right, so it has several new features which are state of the art, which are great. So it has the new chip in it, the XP 7. Right. And that means it has the new autofocus ability of the new generation of cameras.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
However, the sensor drags that back. Because it's an old sensor, it can't keep up.
Right.
So it's got the same sensor in it, and that's the same sensor as a D500.
Ah, is it?
Yeah.
Because everybody still goes on about D500 being brilliant.
Yeah.
And better than the Z50.
Yeah.
For some things.
Yeah, it is. Which is quite old now, but it still gives good results. So there's an argument there, you know, if it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Why is the Z50 Mark I, for instance, better than, not as good as the D500 when it's got the same sensor?
It's all about the autofocus engine. So the D500 has is it the D5 autofocus?
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, it has that big,
right.
I can't remember the model, D3 or D4 or something. It has that autofocus technology in it, and it's fantastic. It's better than the first generation of mirrors.
Right, okay.
As well.
So actually now the Z50 Mark II then should be better than the D500?
For focusing?
Yeah, and it's got the same sensor.
Yeah.
So better all around then compared to D500.
Yeah, so it has loads of other new features, better low light performance. Video has 10-bit 4K now. And it's a fully articulating screen. But the main thing, it's got the new processor, new autofocus ability of the new gen cameras.
It should be, because it's about this must be, I reckon this came out in 2019, because I bought this at the beginning of 2020 and they were bit hard to find then, so this is 5 years old.
It much needed an update.
Yeah.
Which makes the autofocus ability better than the Z6 1 and 2, Z7 1 and 2.
Yeah. Presuming the Z Mark II is exactly the same body size, is it? Or, because I didn't ask you.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's 100 gram heavier. So it's 127, they're both 127, 94 to 97, 75 to 82. The first things I looked for was IBIS.
Right. And
everyone under all these videos and forums saying, where the hell is the IBIS? Right. I think it's a fundamental now of a new camera is to have IBIS in it. But then you think, well, actually, the DX lenses that come with it, the kit lenses,
they've got IBIS.
They've got the VR in the lens.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
So the argument is, if you're starting out and you're not intending to buy anything else, you just buy the kit lenses, you won't notice, you won't need, and you won't need IBIS because the lenses you've got with them, they do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I came from ZFC a few years ago. I had a ZFC, I really enjoyed it. However, there was a few things that made me get rid of it pretty quickly, and it didn't have IBIS, and that's for video production.
Right.
So I use a primed lot, and the prime lenses don't have VR. So if you don't have VR and you don't have IBIS, the video is jittery, it's horrible, it's unusable. Right. And in the YouTubers that got sent to Japan, they were filming each other using it. And
really?
The footage is awful.
Because they hadn't got the kit lenses on?
Yeah, because they're using prime lenses. Then the other argument is, if you're shooting in like this, would you need VR and image stabilization? If you're shooting like 250th of a second taking photos, do you need VR?
When's it going to be important? It's going to be important for video, potentially.
And low light work.
And yeah, low light work with slower shutter speed. So it depends what you're using it for, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've just thought that the bigger telephoto lenses have VR built in.
So now you're talking against yourself now a bit.
Well, no, I'm open to this. I'm open to this. But so yes, if the wildlife lenses have them built in,
then you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, now you're interested.
Bye.
Yeah, but then it's crop factor, man. 1.5, 400 becomes 600.
That's true. And that's the other thing with a DX crop sensor. I got fed up with the focal length adjustments. I had to calculate in my head all the time.
Multiplying it by 1.5.
Because when you're using full frame lenses, though, you think, oh, I know in my head where I need to be and what the frame will look like with 50, 2470 and whatever. With a DX in my head, it's always... And so these new processors are power hungry. So with a new processor in it, with the same battery, the battery life is going to be really poor.
Right, okay.
So you've got no IBIS, same sensor, and possibly poor battery life.
Right. You're selling this well, then.
Well, this is
we're never going to get anything from Nikon on this, right?
Yeah, I mean, the price is a tiny bit cheaper than you can buy that for.
What? Well, they're not still selling these, are they?
Yeah.
They're still selling the Mark 1?
Yeah.
And the Mark 2 is cheaper?
Yeah. By 50. In the UK,
what's that all about?
849 and that's 899.
Why?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Are you sure?
I'll check now, actually.
Is that with or without kit lenses on both?
That's just basic.
Body?
Yeah, body.
On both of them?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Well, I think that's great, though. They could have made it more expensive.
By putting IBIS in it?
Well, no, I mean by just... Because, inflation, generally, cameras are more expensive. It's good,
and you were saying, I'd have to add 25% on, say, and put IBIS in it. I was worried then if it starts to get close to, say, the Z5, the full frame though. So, I mean, I don't know how much is the Z5?
The Z5 is, yes, it's 1,199, but it's reduced at the moment because of the promotion.
Wow, okay. So that is...
interesting. So what I think they should have done is, I think they should have made the ZFC II. Because the ZFC sold really well in the Asian market for young people because it was the retro looking camera. This is before the ZF.
Yeah.
And it's retro, it was cheap enough, it had good, style about it to try and match Fuji kind of thing. And I think they should have done Mark II of that because the style of it. Because I think now, if you don't overpower your cameras, if a camera brand doesn't overbrand their cameras in that category, it gets lost. I always see young people going around with Fujifilm cameras. It's quite common now. Go on the train around city centres. You see them with Fuji because it's cool to have. They look good. They're good quality. I can't see and imagine that the Z50 Mark II having that same appeal.
No.
I think they need to put their head above the crowd with this. And this is what we can do.
Yeah.
Just because it's a budget camera, we haven't trimmed it off the edges here. We've given you everything we possibly can. And I think that's where they've made the mistake.
Yeah, it's probably a pricing decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they've obviously decided that what pricing point they can sell it at, and to put load of extra features in, it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. They've obviously looked around, I suppose. You assume all this, don't you? They see what it's going to be competing with. Who do you think it's aimed at?
People who have lower budgets starting out, and that's it.
I asked you that because then I'd say, do those sort of people, are they going to realise about the significance and importance, at least in your mind, of the lack of IBIS, etc.
And the new sensor.
Or are they just going to say, look, I've got a proper mirrorless camera for 800 and
look what this does.
Pounds. This actually ticked the boxes for taking away as a travel camera, and the kit lenses were great. I haven't used this in ages. I should have sold it. I haven't got around to it.
Why haven't you sold it?
Partly because it's not going to be that, and the kit lenses I didn't think was worth. And you keep thinking, well, you're not going to get a fortune back for it, a few £100, if that.
Yeah.
And will it ever be useful? Would I ever do that when I know that the option is?
Since
I haven't. No. It'd be interesting to compare this with the 50 to 250, so effectively 375mm against the 100 to 400 on a Z8. I mean, both ends of the price spectrum. How much better would the big lens be?
I think we're always judging it from the top, aren't we? Thinking, oh, why haven't they put all the best stuff in it? Why haven't they made it for us? You know?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Are you interested in it? Is it the D500 replacement? Could I use it as a wildlife and sports secondary camera? But the point is, I was quite open to it. I'm not against it. There's lots of new features in there which are really
not
good.
Interesting.
I don't think it's for me, no.
No.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. See you next time.
See you next time.